I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. I usually say 10 a.m. Okay, change my thing. Okay, we are having a public hearing. The purpose of this hearing is that the East Missouri Action Agency is applying for a $2 million grant to work toward starting the buildings, and we're going to explain what that building will be used for. And then we'll open it up for public comments and have a needs assessment after that point. So, at this point, I will turn it over to Carrie, and here you are.
Well, thank you so much for coming tonight. I appreciate it. As Harold explained, EMAA is proposing to submit a $2 million grant to the Community Development Block Grant through the Department of Economic Development through the state of Missouri. We have to apply through a governmental entity, so that's how the county has been brought into it. Over the course of a few months, we have been working with several people to bring together what's called Dream Big, and it's the Mineral Area Hospital Complex and the adjacent property. I'll just tell you a little bit about East Missouri. East Missouri Action Agency is a private non-for-profit organization. We have been in existence since 1965. We're designed to help low-income individuals and families, and of course our ultimate goal is to help them achieve self-sufficiency through a variety of resources. We collaborate with a lot of area faith-based and community-based organizations, and we serve about 18,000 individuals every year through our programs. Now, we do service 8 counties in southern Missouri, and our home office is located in Park Hills here in St. Francis County. We do have about a budget of over $25 million, and it comes from about 65 funding streams. We employ about 220 staff. That fluctuates all the time. We manage 5 housing complexes, and we've created over 500 units of affordable housing in our 8-county service area. Our vision is communities where everyone's potential to thrive is unlimited by community conditions. And our mission is that we cultivate communities of opportunities and supports people in reaching their highest potential. Now, how did Dream Big come about? So, over the course of the past few months, we have met with a lot of area organizations, and it's through a collaboration of probably 20 plus community organizations that has created Dream Big. Our goal through the collaboration was to determine the needs of our community so that the building located at 1212 Weber Road could be used to help meet the needs of this community. Now, we know that our area suffers greatly due to the lack of access to care for the underinsured and uninsured, or the inability to pay for medical, dental, mental health, behavioral health. The vision that came out of the Dream Big group is a community where people are empowered to thrive and reach their highest potential. And the mission is a community network of comprehensive, holistic, and diverse services providing compassionate care, inspiring hope, and healing for all. So, what came out of this collaboration through the work over the last several months, we have determined through this collaboration of community organizations, the services that have been identified for the hospital project is a skilled nursing facility, an assisted living facility, a behavioral health hospital. Great Minds Health Center will be providing dental, medical, and behavioral health as well. The Farmington Senior Center is staying where it's at. There will be a 24-hour daycare, and there will be a crisis unit as well. Mental health and behavioral health needs that are is a huge issue for our community. In Southeast Missouri, we have a big black hole for behavioral health and mental health care. So what we know today is that we have mental health and behavioral health patients tying up your local emergency room, tying up beds there, and so we know that there's a huge need. So So what happens sometimes when people present to the emergency room here locally, there are no other services to help them through the case that they have through their mental health and behavioral health. So they're oftentimes transported out of the area, many times to Springfield or to St. Louis, and that poses a problem for many families that live in our community to deal with a family member that may have these type of crises. The adjacent services that we're going to have there on the property as well is our Uplift Day Center. So our Uplift Day Center is a center that helps homeless people come in. They can take a shower, they can do their laundry, they can get a hot meal, and then we also have an overnight shelter where currently there are 2 containers on the property that have 10 bedrooms that people can come in and sleep overnight. But eventually we're going to be moving the shelter to the back piece of the property, what was called the old maintenance building of the Mineral Area Regional Medical Center building. That's a total, and then we also are developing some low-income housing if we get approved. So that's the adjacent services. And so what we know is this project has the ability not only to impact St. Francis County, but other counties because of the close proximity that Farmington is to Iron County and to Madison County. Those 2 counties have decided to go in on the application process with St. Francis County being the lead applicant. So I'll show you on a picture here where everything is located. So if you, let me see, you got your pointer on there?
Push the button and go.
Okay, let's see. So this building right here is what's called the 3-story professional building. This is where Great Minds would be located. On the first floor of the property, I just want to get this. So Great Minds Health Center is a federally qualified healthcare provider. And of course, they're going to be located on the 3-story professional building. And they are dedicated to providing services to clients with little to no income as well as the general population. They accept payments on a sliding scale fee, which is determined by the client's income or lack thereof. At this current time, where they're located back behind Burger King, they are already at capacity there, so they need room to expand. The first floor of that center will be used to access routine behavioral and mental health services with offices and specialty care areas. Clients will also be able, there will be a drive-up pharmacy here as well at the end of the building. So they will be able to access pharmacy by either walking through the building or the drive-up options. On the second floor, patients will have access to primary care providers, pediatrics, maternity, and ancillary services such as podiatry. And then on the third floor, clients will have access to dental services that is dedicated to adults and children with special emphasis on providing considerate care for those with behavioral and mental health concerns. This area will have multiple treatment rooms, sedation rooms, and waiting rooms for parents and caregivers to wait for clients receiving dental care. Now, if you look here where this says the assisted living, which is right here, this will be the assisted living facility, and then the skilled nursing takes in all of this. The skilled nursing facility is the second floor of the building. It's actually the main floor of the building. And then on the second floor of the building, that's where the behavioral health hospital will come into play. And then if you look right here where it says Farmington Ministerial Alliance, we will have, the Farmington Ministerial Alliance will have a storage area there, as well as their food pantry will also be moving there. We anticipate in this area, in the lower level, to be a 24-hour daycare for all the jobs that will be created here for the parents and for any other people in the community that need to access it. This This piece here, which was commonly referred to the emergency room, this would be where the cahoots, this is the crisis unit, the urgent care for behavioral health. There will be a 23-hour crisis clinic that is there as well. Great Minds does the 1-hour crisis clinic, which will take place in the 3-story building, and then the 23-hour care will go down here at this place. Then right here is where the containers are sitting. This is being proposed to be affordable housing development complex, 42 units. This is our current day shelter, the senior center right there, and then this is going to be the actual homeless shelter. So the containers will be moved out into another location, and the homeless will be housed here. So how this is going to work, East Missouri Action Agency has been gifted the building by Mr. Shershikan. Once we get all of the programs lined out, so we need the $2 million that we're requesting for this grant to finish the renovations in the 3-story building, which would be right there, the Ministerial Alliance area, the children's daycare, and this emergency department. And of course then doing a little bit of finishing work in the skilled nursing and the assisted living facility. So that is the project that we're proposing. And we can move into the comments if we want.
Okay.
Or questions or anything that people would have.
We will open up to public comments from questions, whatever, for Carrie. And if you do wish to do that, I would like you to come up to the microphone and speak. And start out with your name, please. So if you have any comments, please come on up. Gary Matheny, come on up, sir. Gary is our public administrator for the county.
Thank you. I want to say I appreciate your efforts and what you're doing. I am 100% behind your proposal. I also want to tell you that the problem is even worse than you think, because I'm not trying to single them out, but our local hospital, they have a geriatric psychiatric unit.
Yes.
So that's for older adults. Younger adults, many of which have dual diagnosis. In other words, they got drug problems, they got mental health problems, it's all mixed together. They're homeless, they're very marginalized, and in desperate conditions. And so what happens is that a lot of times they wind up in the emergency room at Parkland Health Center, and they don't meet criteria. And so it's not just a question of finding another hospital for them, it's a question of, you don't meet criteria, we're sorry, we're not going to admit you, and we're not going to help you get admitted anywhere else. So a lot of these people are just turned around in a turnstile fashion. They come back out on the streets, and then, you know, a few days, few weeks later, whatever, they bottom out again, and then they wind up at the emergency room, and they go through the exact same scenario. And we've had some desperate situations, like in last year at this time, we had a homeless person that was hanging around Casey's in Farmington. So we were able to help her through the public administrator's office. But that took a lot of community support, a lot of community resources. So speaking as a public administrator, we just look at this as a great injection of public resources to help manage all the great needs that we have in our community. So I think.
Thank you.
So where do you propose the $2 million comes from?
So we are asking for the community development block grant dollars. That's up to $2 million that we can apply for.
An application has been made.
Not yet. The application is being worked on. We have to have the public hearings, submit the comments, and then that application will go into the Department of Economic Development.
And what is your feeling about the success of the application?
It's hard to say. You know, you just don't know. You have They'll rate it. I'm crossing my fingers that it will be successful. This is a unique opportunity for our area. We have the data to back up what we are saying is needed. If you don't know this, East Missouri Action Agency housed 65 people in hotels last February that were homeless in this community. Many of those have behavioral health and mental health issues, and we know that that's an issue for homeless people. So we have that data, and we believe that that data is strong enough to get this grant application approved.
Worst case scenario, if the grant is not approved, what's your next option?
Well, our next option is Mr. Shershikan says he is not going to leave us behind. So
I'm committed. I'm committed. This is more than what you hear now.
Charles, you might come up to the microphone.
Sure. This building gonna provide beginning to the end service. And public administrator, the one people that come in a crisis, they can go to the 2-hour crisis, which is a 3-story building, or they can go to 23. Depends on how severe they are. But a lot of them, they don't need that. We have devices. I've brought one of my devices to show you. This device, it will take away that aggressive, when you're aggressive, what do I do with it? Sorry. No, it's here. These devices, what it does, it sends a signal. And we're going to approach this problem many ways. One of it is not, medication is not always an answer. This devices, if I buy 30 of them, it costs me about $150 a piece. This device, believe it or not, it saved 10 lives. I give it to the people that they call me and say, hey, my son is saying to commit suicide. I give it to them, I program their iPhone, and then they have it either like a watch they can put on their hands, or they can hold it on the bilateral area of the body, okay? So that's in the signal. So what it does, it confuses all the signal that your brain is sending and pushing you to that hole. It keeps telling you that whispering noise telling you to kill yourself, harm yourself, kill other people. This is what will stop it. Now, if this doesn't do that, there's other devices. I brought you some pictures too. But we start with the crisis. From crisis, then we take them to the, if they're homeless, I'm giving them 62-bed homeless shelter. It'll be done by middle of next month. So they can house them there, they can feed them there, and if they're mentally or physically, they need help, all they have to do is walk 50 feet, get to that project, and they're right behind that project. So when they go there, we take them to the hospital, adjust their medication. We check them out to see what's wrong with them, physically, mentally, and chemically. And sometimes they're overdrugged, so we detox them. And there's a program that federal government gives it free to everybody. And that program assesses a person. And as they question you, a person sits next to you, and usually they're social workers. They ask questions, but they gotta gain your trust. First, we tell them how to gain your trust, how to respect them, and how to deal with them. We never look at them face to face. We always come to the next one. We never get to their personal space. Personal space is 6 feet. If I come here 6 feet, I'm in your personal space. If I come near more than that, I'm in an intimate space. If I'm standing here looking at you, I'm in your public space. We never get to those areas because all it does, it puts you in the stage of fight or fight.
Right.
So, and a lot of them, they can't get off of it. Their computer is set up to just run or fight you. So, do you know, I can teach you a simple technique. You put a little bit of lotion on your fingers and put it behind your ear, right behind this earlobe, and rub it. What it does, it affects your nervous system that is out of control. It brings it under control. If that doesn't work, I tell people, gag yourself. So what it does, we call it vagus nerve. That vagus nerve starts from here, it goes all the way to your heart, your legs, all the way to the muscle here, to the bottom of your feet. So those are the techniques we teach them. And this assisted living is not because we want them to stay there. No. I don't want anybody to stay in that building. I want them to come over there, get well, or go to another facility that they're appropriate. And then we send that care planning with them. That care plan, it gets shared by entire projects. So everybody knows what's wrong with that person. So once we know what's wrong with them, we work on it. And we follow two things. We follow the standard practice. Just refer to it. Hospital cannot keep it. Hospital follows the standard practice. Once you get to a certain point, they have to discharge you. Well, this one is the same thing. They have to discharge you. But where do they send you? They send you 2 steps away to the nursing home part of it. Because you're still not safe to be released to the community. So then, you're no longer qualified to stay in a nursing home. When you enter to a nursing home, any nursing home, they have to discharge you before you admit you. They have to know how they're going to send you back home before they admit you. That's a law. So if you're ready to be discharged and they cannot discharge you, you're in violation. So what do we have? We have assisted living. Now in assisted living, I want to bring their wives or husband or whoever. My target is more to the veterans. I love veterans. I owe a lot to veterans. I came to this country with the help of veterans, so I want to help them. And a lot of those, they don't know what to do. And President Trump signed an executive order and still exists. So when you go to the veteran clinic here, they cannot take care of you. I want you to come to me. So then over there, that's what we're going to help them. There's so many therapy over there. There's a therapy that they get rid of depression for good. I brought you a picture of it. Stanford University, 79% of people, they don't go back to depression. Their depression is gone for good. This is a device. This is a doctor that developed it. They have it in Festus. What they do, they scan your brain with that device to find out where that problem is. And then, based on where they know the problem is, they use electromagnetic to stop overacting. Once they do that, 79%, this is what their report is, 79%, they don't go back to it. You don't need all those medicine that is tearing you apart. People, they hate their medicine, and they develop a resistance. This is that equipment looks like. It looks like a dentist chair. So I want to bring that. So there's many ways we can help people with this project. This $2 million really is not even enough, according to Brock Miller. Brock Miller says, I want to remodel that 3-story building for the great mind. He said that's not enough. You know what he said, how much he needs? $6 million. $6 million. He said, who's going to pay me if I start on it? I said, you start on it. If you get the grant, whatever is back, I give away 100% of my income every year. 100%. I live off of my wife. We have a good life. I don't need a whole lot of money. So I'm behind you all the way. But we have to have all these steps. If you want to put the people in the motel, you have no control over them. I took care of homeless people, especially veterans, since 1996. And 10%, I used to have 60 nursing homes. 10% of my nursing home always left it for the homeless, especially veterans. I have a picture of one of them. I have to show you. This way you know what kind of condition these guys are in. They make you sick. I have it here, I promise. But sorry about that. I was rushing to get here. I was not in town. Well, here it is. This is one of the men I have. He's a veteran. Look at him.
Oh my.
Do you see it? He was one of our veterans. I had another veteran. He had wound from the back of his neck all the way to here. He wouldn't let anybody touch him. The only one touched him, it was my daughter Maria. We gained his trust. But these veterans, when they come to you, they're desperate. They have no idea. This man had a $36,000 check. He didn't know he had that check. We had two social workers. One social worker take care of their financial, one social worker took care of their medical needs. Okay? So there's therapy. There's many ways you can help these people. I don't need I'm not going to give it one penny of this money that you're applying for. 100% of it is going to go to that three-story part. The top part, entire top part, is going to be dental offices. The second part is going to be a wellness for children, for pregnant women, for anybody. The bottom floor is going to be for when they enter to the front, it would be a behavioral part of it, and they come to the back is for the crisis. Also, that ER that across from the helicopter pad is going to be basic crisis unit and emergency unit. But when you ask the hospital, 95% of people, they don't need hospital. They don't need their services. They come over there, they discharge. Nicole helped a homeless person. He had a toothache. And he went to the hospital. They couldn't do anything for him because the hospital, they follow a standard practice. The standard practice said you got to do these 10 steps. Once they reach that 10 step, they got to leave. When they go to the nursing home, they follow 24 steps. Once they reach that, they have to leave. Now, when they're in the assisted living, it's different. But assisted living is designed for the family. I want their husband and wife to come over there and educate them to the condition of the person. Assisted living does not need a dime from you. All it needs is a carpet, and all my carpet is already there, right? Nursing home is there. I've been working on this project 4 years. Parkland shut it down. They didn't think it's going to be a hospital ever again. I had to go start all over again. They call it certificate of need. That was not easy to get. Everybody says impossible. If God was not helping me, yes, it was impossible. We had to fight for it. So I got a CON, they call it certificate of need. I got a CON for the hospital. I got a CON. Then I had to convince the committee that I need a nursing home. Once you discharge them for a hospital, where are they going to go? They're not well. So I had to prove to them. So they granted me nursing home CON. Then I asked them, okay, give me the assisted living, because once they're no longer qualified to stay in the nursing home, but they're not ready to go out, what am I going to do with them? So they go to the assisted living. Once they're discharged for assisted living, Carrie and I, we agreed on it, that they go to that low-income housing. They were going to put homeless there. I said, no, we put the homeless somewhere else. And that's what that 62 unit is there. And I'm almost done with it. And I'm going to donate to them as soon as it's finished. So we approach this thing many ways that you are missing right now. We start from beginning to the end. I'm not going to let them fall apart. I have several homeless working for me. What we do, I give them housing, I give them transportation, I give them work, I give them health insurance. Up to now, we were paying 100%. Now they have to pay $25. But when they don't have transportation, when they don't have anywhere to live, can you provide housing for one of my homeless workers? He came to us and said, I don't have anything in the house. I give him loan. We give loan to those people and they give it back. They pay it back. They never cheated. We set it up based on whatever you can afford it. $20 a week or $10 a week, whatever they can till they pay it off. But we sent them to the Ministry of Alliances in Bonterre. They work with it. I donated that building to them. They work with it. So when I send somebody over there, they really set them up. And we try to get donation, any furniture donations. So that's how you have to provide their need, their basic needs. How can you help somebody when you're doing, it's just like you have a car, you say, I want to rebuild it. The only thing I want to replace is the battery. Well, what happened by the gas? He doesn't have a gas. What happened by the tire? So these guys, they need different things. They're sick.
May I approach the microphone, please?
Yes.
May I speak?
Yeah, yeah.
Pardon me, are you done? Close to done?
I want to sit down, let you
Then you can come back.
Come on up, sir.
My name's Gary Jones. I'm here at the request of some relatives of mine that live within a third of a mile of the project.
Okay.
Now, they are looking at it from not a different point of view, but one that hasn't been addressed yet. They want to know about the safety of their neighborhoods for the people that will be living here or being taken care of here, because they have already had problems with people that didn't belong to be there. So I want to know about that, how that's going to be policed. Okay?
Certainly. So the Uplift overnight shelter will be manned 24 hours a day. We will have staff there. Each part of this facility will have security as well as there will be ground security as well. So we can make sure that people are safe and secure. I know a lot of people want to say that there are more homeless folks that are over there where they don't belong, but Mr. Shershakan can assure you that that has been happening for quite some time before the homeless shelter was put there. And if you would talk with him, he will let you know that there were 3 homeless men that died on his property. They froze to death. So homeless are here, whether they're at this location or whether they're laying on your park bench in one of the parks, or whether they're over at your library, or whether they're at your civic center. They are here and they have been here for quite some time.
Can I answer a little bit better?
Sure.
And while he's coming up, those 3 people were found behind this building in the last 2 years, wasn't
Yes.
Yeah.
it? They found, they died, I guess, frozen to death.
Yeah, they're frozen to death.
Yeah. And so that is going on. That is a problem. And
I'm
this
going to
helps
answer
address
you
those
better
problems.
than that. Okay. First of all, there is a police station, a substation.
Yeah.
First,
Oh, is it? It's not there now.
there
Yes,
is.
it is.
There is.
Is it named?
It's actually,
No.
it's right
No.
here in the back of this building. There's a police substation.
Well, is it going to be manned? I mean, what's...
No, let me explain for you.
Okay.
Right now, there's a substation there. Are they manned 24, 7 days a week? No, but they are there most of the night. I get called almost every night. They want to arrest somebody. Okay? So they call me and say, hey, there's this guy who's on the property, or he just broke the window, he wants to get in. But the project gonna have a security services, okay? That's number one. These homeless people, they don't have anything. So they're doing anything to survive. With this program, they're managed. How they manage, when I admit them in my nursing home, I asked them to sign an agreement with me. First, I said there's no judgment here. I want to know what drugs you're on. This way, in case there's somebody overdose yourself, I want to know about it. Second is I want you to allow us to treat you. But when you sit down and help these people, they listen to you because you start with respect. Okay? So you start with respect, you see what their problem is, and you say, okay, I'm going to help you to get a housing, I want to help you to get a health insurance, I want to help you to get services medical services here if you need. I want to help you. We're going to have a drive-through pharmacy over there. If you don't have any money, you still get your medicine. Who pays for it? Federal government pays for it. Okay? So once you set up everything they need, majority of it, they listen to you. They want to just come and tell you their story, why they got to this point. These people, they make a mistake. They make a wrong move. So once they come and they see a hope, they have no hope. When you don't have no hope, you become violent. When you're hungry, what happens? You get agitated. You get angry. Anger triggers depression. You get depressed. You do anything. But when you're there, we have all those services there. I had to start with a homeless shelter. When they said they're going to put a homeless shelter on that grassy area where it's showing those houses over there, I said, how long is it going to be? Oh, a year and a half. I said, I don't have time. We need to move on now. So I went to city. City gave me a permit. You can ask her. I went as fast as possible. We're working over there 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, trying to get it done. So when you're nice and warm sitting next to your wife, I'm doing the same thing. I love it. We drink coffee together. Go outside and look at those people. They're freezing to death. They have no money. So once you provide services that they need, they provide them just the basic human needs, they don't behave like that. Plus the security, that complex has to have security. We will have a security. Just like Parkland has, just like any other hospital has, they gotta have a security. Okay? That security is gonna do that. And they're gonna be managed. They're not gonna just, right now there's no management there. They're just, it's just doing whatever they want to do. Okay? But we're not gonna, at least the way I wanna set it up, I'm not gonna let that happen. What I wanna do, all of these things I'm telling you, I'm not creating it. These programs have been in existence 30 years. This crisis unit, the people in crisis, they've been in existence 30 years. We never heard of it in this area. These equipment, they've been around 10 years, 15 years. Nobody heard about it. So these are the things that we're in the dead zone. We have no services here. We have no social services here. When you don't have any social service, these people, they're going to do anything they can to survive. And that's what they're doing, they're surviving. And they have addiction. So as long as they have addiction and nobody's dealing with their addiction, yeah, they're going to be like that. But is it going to be like that all the time? No. We're not going to allow it. I'm responsible to everybody. There was one of your neighbor, if you live in that neighborhood, that neighbor came to my office and told me he's going to shoot me. He said, if they break in my house, I want to come and shoot you. I said, yeah, let's sit down and talk about it. Okay? So when I told him that what we're trying to do, all these steps, we started from beginning to the end. We're not just, Parkland Hospital has no choice to discharge him. When they admit a patient in, they give him so much, they're no longer danger to themselves or other people, they discharge him. That's the end of their responsibility. That's not how I am. My end of responsibility is making you a taxpayer. Okay? So that's how.
I understand, and you're very passionate, but I want to know about the other side of the coin. What about the neighborhood? Is it going to be safe?
Yes.
Are the homes going to go down in value?
No.
And I already asked about police, and I heard about some part-time things going on, but
You can go over there, you can go ask the police department and say, okay, who is they call it substation.
see, I don't want them out looking for bourbon and whiskey, because that's what they like too. And they can't get it there.
Right now, there is no control over there. Right now, you're absolutely right. But once the project is open, once we have all the steps in place, we won't, I would say 90% problem going to go away. And the rest of it, between the city and the guard that we're going to have for the complex is gonna be taken care of. We're gonna have a child care there, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I can't let anything happen to those children. So it's gonna be solved. Right now, no. Right now, it's an empty building. And it's been like that. You know how many times they broke in that building? Many, many times. You know how much they stole from me? Many times. I tell them, what do you want? You want TV? Go ahead, take it. Honest to God. I don't charge anybody. What do you want in this building? Go take it. Don't break the window. Just last weekend, they called me, the police called me and said, somebody's trying to break in. They go on the top of the roof. They break into the roof. They do all kind of stuff. It's crazy. I have their picture here. How they live over there? Let me show it to you. I know about that, and police knows about that. Everybody knows about that. Here it is. This is where he lives. He lives in one of the, that's where they live, okay? This guy lives in his car. When you go there, you're gonna see that car right there. Very good man. Here's a guy that he was drunk. We had to take him to the hospital. He was so drunk, he was out of his mind. Look what they do to my building. They use all they take out of my trash, all the trash we throw away. He makes a little home for himself. But they are doing all they can do. 65 people, they put him in the motel.
What kind of a time frame are we looking at for this project to be completed?
By next year, I want to be done.
By next year?
By next year. The nursing home part is done.
Uh-huh.
The assisted living is done. The hospital part is done. But the rest of it, we have to follow what regulation wants us to do. And that's what I'm asking him, okay, how do you want me to set up those things? But as far as the 3-story, that's where the grade mine gonna go. Grade mine is essential for that building. And that's what this $2 million, which is not even enough, according to Brockmiller. So that needs to be done, because when that man that had to put A and park on discharge, what did you do about it, Nicole?
Well, through all of the partnerships that we've been able to form, we were able to get him in with Great Minds Health Center, and so he's starting treatment for his dental procedures, and he's been able to be seen by a doctor, and as well as a mental health therapist, and they're working through all of the things that they can do to help him become the best that he can be where he is. I understand your concerns. I oversee the staff who work there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They monitor those cameras every 30 minutes.
There's
overnight.
cameras there.
They are monitoring those cameras. We don't tolerate. We have rules. We have to have rules for everybody's safety, the neighborhood, the staff. So as Sharo said, we're trying to help them work through trauma, and we do that, but we are not at the risk of the safety of others. And so we are I call the chief of police whenever I need to. I have his number. I don't have to use it very often, but I will call him. He responds. They also police over there quite often. They run through just to make sure. And I'm telling you, my staff don't hesitate to call me at 2 a.m. in the morning if they have to.
So this project has already started then over there?
There are 2 containers with 10 rooms currently. It is
Built
there.
to shipping container. You see the shipping containers?
Oh, yeah, we
There's
saw
seen all
that.
this.
But I mean,
Well,
in the buildings.
We go by them every day.
Okay, I'll build that, because instead of freezing outside, I'll build this.
So none of the services in this building has begun.
Okay, that's what I was
No.
asking. That hasn't
No.
started yet.
Right, the $2 million is to help renovate portions of this building, which would be where Great Minds would go.
Yeah, I
The
understand there was
daycare,
quite a mold problem in the building.
All of that has been remediated.
Oh,
Cheryl has taken care of that.
I
Okay.
used 32 semi-truckload of drywall there. We took all the drywall, she's seen it. We go all the way to the metal stud.
Uh-huh.
We've taken all out. Yes, he was. when you put a wallpaper on this, when you remove the wallpaper, there's mold behind it.
Yeah,
We remove all those drywalls.
okay.
I spent over $7 million there. Okay, and we're not done yet.
Gary, did you have a comment?
I'm just gonna say, let's just say that everybody throws their hands up and says, we can't make this work. The building falls into disrepair.
No,
And I'm just saying
It's
it's a
fine.
hypothetical. If it doesn't work and we give up on the building, it becomes an eyesore. And basically, we will have a guarantee that the housing values in that area will go down.
Yeah.
It was an eyesore before Mr. Shirshikan took it over.
It's improved now.
but you just have to be patient. Just like if somebody come and remodel your house, they make a big mess, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then they build it up, then you clean it up, then you have rules there, and they're gonna have rules there. They are following. They went to Kansas City. There's a non-for-profit homeless shelter in Kansas City. I used to work with. I used to have a nursing home in Kansas City. So they call it Restart. Go read it for yourself. Restart. That's the name of it. They've been around 30 years. So they have rules and all that. They help you. And without rules, it's going to be just like, think of it that if your stoplight goes off, what happens? Everybody wants to go first. Yeah, right now that's how it is. Our stoplight is not there. But once we have our stoplight up, it's going to be organized, and it's going to be, these people, they need help.
Oh,
These people,
I agree.
they wake up, some of these guys, they wake up in the middle of the night, they're shouting, they're throwing stuff, they think they're still in the war. So if they come to that building, and I have a section, we have a therapy, they call it EMDR, okay? They work with the movement of eyes, okay? It removes all those trauma, but it takes time. It takes, somebody has to go to that 8 weeks. And they've gone to the local VA, they can't see them. And they come to me, they said, when are you going to open this place? I need help. They're desperate.
Okay, Louis, do you have a question?
No, I'd like to speak. though.
Okay, go ahead. Louis Cyberlick, our auditor.
I'm the representing the county auditor's office today. We've presented a memorandum of understanding between the St. Francis County and East Missouri Action Agency. And to clarify some probably misinformation is the fact that county taxpayers are not paying for this facility. That this is being funded by private concern as well as a community block grant, development block grant. What we are going to do as far as the county is concerned is we'll be administering the information as it's presented to us. That is our responsibility. Right now I think we're responsible for 32 grants currently that we're working on. Mineral Area College, we have 3 or 4 working with them, as well as a lot of other grants. County Commission has been overseeing this. Our department is going to take care of it. We wish East Missouri Action Agency the best of luck. Previously, I've met Mr. Shirshikan, and if you have any questions about his resume, just drive through Bonne Terre, look at the renovations that he did with the old high school, with the like placing the senior center, the apartment and everything. Not to mention what he did with the old, was it the old St. Joe Hospital? Yeah. Well, I'm too young to remember that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right.
But take a look at what he's done with the recreation centers in Farmington as well as in Bonne Terre. He is a man of his word. I hope he lives long enough to see this completed, and I know he will. But that is our responsibility as far as the auditor's office is concerned, and once again, through the county commission working with East Missouri Action Agency.
Thank you, Louis. I would like to add a couple of comments. When this is fully staffed and going, 270 employees,
initially.
Something like 270 people will be working there, professional people. That's gonna revitalize that neighborhood. You're gonna have, if you remember back in the heyday of the Mineral Area Hospital, that was a vital place, and that was an important part of that neighborhood. And we're heading back to that if we can work this all out, and it's gonna be a good thing for it. Now, she mentioned also that right now, sometimes they have to send people to, say, Springfield. Well, if that ties up an ambulance for that many hours of round trip to Springfield, first of all, it's expensive. You got an ambulance vehicle and 2 people. But secondly, that's an ambulance is not available to the rest of us here in the county for those many hours. So we're paying for this in some ways now because we don't have a facility like this here. So I just want to point those things out.
I would just say really quickly that this facility was built for this community by people who cared about this community immensely.
Yeah.
And Sharo's heart and the group of people that have come together are coming together to do this for our community, to bring it back to what it can be and should be and serving the people as it was designed to do. Everybody in this has the best intentions. We understand concerns, but this project is about serving our community and the people here who need these services so desperately right now.
One thing I'll add to that is that there's no name decided for the project yet. But it is very clear that they want to use the mineral area title for the name because those people initially built that hospital to serve the mineral area. And that was the name they had, and they really want to leave that part of the name in.
Just haven't finalized that.
Yeah,
yet.
haven't figured out the name yet, but
Do we have any further comments? All right, so part of this hearing, we have to discuss about the unmet needs of the community. And so I'd like to ask a few questions, and you all can answer these however you see fit. So what we're going to do is going to go through public infrastructure, public services, community facility, housing, educational profiles, economic development. So what I'm asking is, does this community have a water system? And is that poor, fair, or good, or it doesn't exist?
does anybody have an opinion of the city water system in that area, in that neighborhood?
We have a water system there and it's adequate.
Okay.
Sanitary sewer system.
We do have a sanitary sewer system there.
Anybody unhappy with the sewer system?
Would this be questions for the Farmington sewer system? We don't have a county.
Are we talking about that neighborhood?
We're talking about the whole community as a whole. Not necessarily just this place,
Okay.
but just the whole community. Storm sewer drainage.
Do your gutters, or street gutters back up on you, anything like that? Do you have any problems with that?
We have a good one over there.
Streets.
Now, here you go. Weber Road, right now, as it ends in front of that restaurant, the big restaurant,
Yeah.
and the yellow liquor store. You know what I'm talking about, where it used to come out of Lowe's, and you got about 5, 6 different ways, and you go there at noon or 1 o'clock, and you're not gonna believe it. Now, if we have 270 employees out there, and they go to lunch, you really, you think I'm kidding you? It's gonna be a big mess.
Is that Potosi Street there?
No, that's a Weber Street. I had to give part of my property on the Farmington Fund Center to the city. They're gonna widen that road.
Well, that's what they say.
We already signed.
But when they widen the road, how's this going, there's still 270 people going to lunch.
Okay,
Well, we have a kitchen over there. We're also gonna feed people over there too. Hopefully they don't go to lunch.
The employees can eat there?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Sir?
My name is Joe Franklin. I worked at Mineral Area for 25 years, and we had approximately 500 employees. Whenever it shut down, and we went to lunch, and is there going to be a cafeteria
There will
or
be.
food? So yeah, so there was double the employees when it was a full service hospital. So If that-
What year was the heyday of the hospital?
I started in 1989, and but I mean, actually, like 1956 is whenever it became, I think so, it became a hospital. But we were, I don't know about Heyday, but for 25 years we were busy.
My mother worked there.
We were a
for
level 1
years.
trauma center level 3 trauma center when I started, and it was a busy place and a lot of traffic there. But that was when we were the only emergency, not the only emergency room in town, but we were the main emergency room, and there was a lot of traffic, and I don't anticipate this causing that kind of traffic.
There is a bottleneck there, I grant you.
Right.
There is.
But the city is fixing it. The city
Okay.
is widening Weber Road. They're also looking at some alternative, how to reroute traffic through there, like, creating maybe a one-way street in places or something like that. They just haven't finalized what they're going to do. They're definitely.
But as you said, in the late 80s and the 90s, all the way to the 2000s, whenever before it shut down, that place had, like he said, 500 employees, and they did a great job. They had 2 stop signs there though that aren't there now. Probably
Yeah,
but
that's a little confusing driving through there and the stop sign's
you
gone.
know how many times I stood
Yeah.
or I just stopped.
Actually, they had
Yeah.
702 employees over there.
Did they? Okay.
I was trying to buy it,
at the top.
and I went to talk to them before they sold it to other
Yes.
to the organization. They had 702.
We'll note your concern, okay? Bridges,
Bridges? Bridges in the city, anybody know of any defective bridges in the city?
okay? Sidewalks,
Sidewalks okay out there,
Yes.
or in the community?
all right, public services, fire protection,
They have a nice fire department.
police services,
Yes.
code enforcement,
Yes.
healthcare,
Well, except for this.
Getting better.
emergency services,
Very good.
parking,
I think you did that covered, don't you?
Yeah.
all right, now we're going into community facilities, a community center, senior citizen center, sheltered workshop, hospitals, infant daycare. That's fair, I think. In my opinion, it is fair. You've lost two daycares in the the deal with COVID, which has caused families to have problems accessing adequate child care in this community. So I would say it's fair. I wouldn't say they're good.
Did I not hear something about childcare
Yes, we're gonna put in
We will
a
have a child
with
care.
employees
For
Yes.
employees,
Or anybody else.
And for clients.
And
or
for-
anybody
yeah,
else?
anybody.
It will be 24 hours, 7 days.
Shelter workshop, is that on Maple Street? That's what they call it.
Yes.
No, but they're here
I
somewhere.
had
Yeah,
one
yeah,
in
it is.
Maple
Okay.
Street.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Mental health counseling services.
We don't know.
If you had that, where would it be?
Well,
Hospital,
BJC offers.
Yeah,
BJC Behavioral Health
Right,
and SEMO.
right over on Maple Street.
But what we do know is that it's probably not enough. People have,
Or
long
not
waits.
available to the
Mhm.
meeting?
teen or youth center.
Well, how about the skate park?
Yeah, that'd work. Drug abuse prevention rehabilitation.
Well, is that SEMO?
SEMO doesn't have any, they,
Yeah.
they just,
Is there others here?
that's part of this project, we're trying to get